3i Atlas has set up a precise Christmas Day correlation. This is where 3i Atlas will pass on Christmas Day. That is no coincidence. It ties in with an ancient Egyptian secret. It will probably recreate 3 Egyptian human origin records: the Yule tree and the Sphinx Leo message of the Hall of Records beneath its chest. I'll show you all that in this video. But it's maybe to give humanity a message of the star visitor's identity and how they tie in with our origins on Earth. If it performs some sort of Christmas tree message on 25th of December, I reckon it's going to do a lot more than turning green, which it's doing right now. It's also making this beam of light turn earthwards. And I think we might even see activity below it to mimic what we decorate Christmas trees with. That's really a long shot. If that really happened, would people still believe that it's just a comet? Well, let's wait and see. But if it happens, we can also expect it to brighten on the day. If a message was intentional, then a Jupiter slingshot earthwards. That is what Jupiter's for. I'll show you in this video. So this is the view from Earth, Christmas Day, position of 3i Atlas, and it seems to be making its tail direct more towards Earth, but we're not sure if that's going to really happen. That's also a long shot because this tail was going away from the Sun on its way to Jupiter. Okay, pretty much like what comets do, but this is no comet. You'll see in the video. And I think it's going to brighten on the day. Something like that. All astronomers, please have your telescopes ready and film, I think, a video, because things might happen. And why do I think it represents the Sphinx secret? Because the Sphinx captures the sun's path. It's the only position on the pyramid layout field where the ecliptic is concerned, is by that which represents Leo. And it explains this is the records of our sun, hence building the records of the whole of the legend of the Hall of Records beneath the Sphinx, the UFO landing on the back of it. Yep, I'm going to show you all the evidence in the ancient papyrus. So what I'm saying is 25th of December, this message, it's showing with the Christmas tree effect, the origins of the Christmas tree is intentional for why it came across this area when it is closest to the Earth. It's to put on a display for us to identify who they are, where they come from. And this is a match. 2027 returning star visitors, 3i Atlas, perform a Sphinx Christmas tree message. I think they're planning all of this for 2027 when it uses Jupiter to slingshot, which I'll show you. The first evidence of the Christmas tree, in my opinion, is the historical Masonic record, the first degree tracing board, they call it. It shows 3 suns in a triangle pointing down, 7 stars of the Pleiades. By the way, this is all my interpretation. Masons will disagree. And there's a blazing star with 7 points of light because it's representing the importance of the area of the Pleiades. A hand from the heavens with a grail. What does the grail mean? You'll see in my work it's a star map showing the celebration of the bloodline of the people that came from these stars. That's the chalice, and Orion's belt is in this beam, and there's 3 symbols for Orion's belt. Anyway, that's all in the extended video. The second line of evidence is ancient Egyptian from the Senma tomb. Orion man shows the way to the leg of the bull, follow the 2 stars, Atlas and Pleione of the Pleiades, in my opinion. And it's the star of Ra, seen in the night. So it's not our sun. This is a circumpunct, and in this beam of light, a point of origin, where all the gods are shown on the earth, on terra firma. That's the Senma tomb. And then the last bit of evidence is the Key of Solomon parchment that shows Orion, that little star with the beam of light coming down from it. It even shows 4 exoplanets, just like the Stonehenge star map. And then there's a cipher puzzle that actually assembles the 7 stars of the Pleiades. That's all in the extended video. So that's what we have. And it's probably going to brighten over Christmas Day. In my opinion, if that happens, we should be 100% conclusive. This is an alien visitation event that's planning to come to Earth for a very important reason while we are in crisis. Representing the Christmas tree. The origins of the Yule tree, you'll see in this video. I showed the star and the tree, that chose this conical shaped tree to celebrate origins of their star ancestors. And there is a position of the sun. I just want to show quickly that it's the Leo constellation of this lion that is pouncing upon the sun, capturing it, so to speak, to represent the Hall of Records, which is below that monument that represents Leo. And I'm going to show you the papyrus on that right there. We'll go into great detail with it just now. There's a picture of the Senmot tomb record. I'm going to show you in up close to show the visitor's arrival. Now it's turning green. This is quite amazing. Is it now trying to mimic the Christmas tree already? And then it brightens, I think, on Christmas Day. And I think we might even see that which we attach to the tree to celebrate that which came from above and below, like in the legend of Jacob's ladder, the angels traversing from the heavens down to earth in this beam of light, the origin of the Yule tree. I think we might even see that, but that is an extremely long shot prophecy, I would say, from my angle. Will it brighten on the day? Okay, so what's happening on the 25th of December, right here, where it passes Regalis in Leo? I'm expecting, if this is an alien object that is tied to the ancients, our ancestors that colonized the solar system, are coming back, and they want to show the identity by doing something on December the 25th. Remember, Sol Invictus was long before the Christ story, with measuring the unconquered sun, a sun-like star with a beam of light, as you see here. And my question is, I'm expecting something to happen on that day. So I'm asking all astronomers to be looking on the December the 25th moment when it passes Regalis. I think it's preparing a Jupiter slingshot move to come to Earth in 2027. The secret of the pyramids. Now, I've been really tiptoeing around this subject because there's some earth energy that is special inside the pyramids. That's what they're designed for. And we can't run away from the fact now that there is a tie to the legend of the cosmic dragon serpent lion. So the energy that has been on record that takes place inside the pyramids is that secret of the living light. There are chambers that are designed to maximize the effect of this cosmic energy. And I'm not tiptoeing around this subject matter anymore. We've got to be open to the legend of the dragon, how it fits this whole story, and Three-Eye Atlas. But what really happened to the living light? Because there's nothing really happening in the pyramids. You can do tests in them. It's as if that earth energy has faded, and I believe it has since the time of the Great Flood. And it's for a very simple reason. If this is the living light of creation that connects through every single soul, and there are millions and billions of souls suffering, the dragon, cosmic light, creation energy will share it and feel it. So it would not want to come to our planet if there's mass suffering. And this is, I think, the problem with our planet. Not only are we destroying the planet, but we're destroying each other. Our 1% is so greedy for profits. We are the collateral damage. So I think the ancients are returning to stop us destroying ourselves and to stop us destroying the planet. So the cosmic plasma legend of the dragon is what I link to after this video. You can see at the end I go into the legend of this sacred energy that is there on the earth and has been here before and been visiting in times of crisis to try and help humanity. And each time our 1% monarchy systems have taken the information for themselves and then altered it. This is the video I linked to at the end of this video that takes the story of the living cosmic light that's inside the pyramids and the story of Three-Eye Atlas further. So just click the link at the end of the video. We have the cosmic lion dragon right here, okay, representing the Sphinx. This is no ordinary lion. The Sphinx in Egypt is the cosmic lion dragon that Leo constellation represents, and the Hall of Records beneath it. That is very important to understand. and how it captures the sun. Here lies the records of our sun star in comparison to its position with all the 50 pyramids of Egypt, showing the ancestor star position, showing the legend of Chernobyl, the secret of the Sphinx. Okay, that's in this video. Now, here are the 4 grand secrets of the Sphinx. The Sphinx speaks. You have seen me from above, as my creators have seen me. You have seen I watch my reflection as the cosmic lion of Leo. You will therefore know now that I am placed with Orion's belt to solve my mystery. Will you recognize all the pyramids represent important stars? Now solve the X marks the spot star map for the origin of your ancestors. You can see the message of my form as Leo captures the sun under its chest. In doing so, I reveal the hall of records of this sun system that lies beneath my chest. Here is the secret of the energy field within the pyramids. I dwell within. I am the force. Leo represents no ordinary lion. I represent the cosmic serpent lion dragon. Your ancestors traversed the heavens with me, the portal, the living light of creation. Riding the cosmic lion was thus chosen for the first raised landing platform in Egypt. And this is all building up to this, 2027. The messianic message, is it the Christ returning? Is it Maitreya returning, as in the Buddhist origins records? Or is it Esa, as the people of Islam believe? I think it is one who represents all humanity. And he's explaining, he's holding 7 stars in his right hand. And with him present is the living light of the cosmos, that which creates all time, space, matter, and life. The 7 dragons are 7 plasma ribbons that connect to the Pleiades, and he gives his message with 7 important things we can do to save humanity and our planet. Well, let's see how that goes. 2nd of August, 2027, on the day of the great eclipse, right over the old Atlantis ruins that I've written in my Atlantis book. It had an alien message. NASA made an announcement recently that they're going to show the images of 3i Atlas collected from the very close-up cameras from Mars. And what they showed proves exactly what this man here is saying. Here is the opening lines. I'm linking to this at the end of my video. Look in description, this exact time mark, you just click the link and it'll start at this very moment where the NASA spokesperson has an encoded secret to all the 1%ers. And he says he wants to remind everybody where we are and who is where in this play. This is like one big play, a theatrical event, a cover-up. There is the code right there. And that leads me to my statement that I must begin with. Do not trust any main media famous speakers in this subject matter of UFOs and paranormal. That is a very, very big key point, because they are groomed by the 1% and they are following a protocol. So the big 1% owned media follows strict protocols. The disclosure movement is completely fake. There is no disclosure of anything until 2027. And when the visitors are seen in the sky, the 1%ers and the main media are going to call it evil aliens. My claim of 2027 is going to be called a lie by the fake, let's call them media people that are supposed to be giving disclosure. People that use names like weaponized. I mean, these are all military terms. Don't trust these people. Just trust what you're seeing by, especially now, astronomers showing their images, hobby astronomers that are going online and showing the new pictures that are going to be taking place over December. The 1% will then claim evil aliens when all this starts unfolding in 2027. So my claim of 2027 cannot be called a lie, because everything I show is measurable. You must remember that. And if you just take one thing away from my videos for the 2027 event, just remember this. For the 1%, the powerful people that are controlling our planet. This is an invasion of planet Earth in their opinion. For the 99%, this is a messianic event to save us. Here are the new pictures of 3i Atlas after it came from behind the sun again. You might have seen this one on the media, but they didn't show you the original picture, which is that. It had these wisps, like jet trails that are angled at different angles. It doesn't make any sense at all. Comets don't do that. And it went from that to looking like this, and you can see it's making its own trail of some sort by ejecting something. You can see the sort of directional jet, and then this one looks like it was turned off. And you can see now the sun's solar wind is starting to push it and turn it, but it's making its own trail in front of its direction that it's traveling. I think there's something like that in it, making this. There's some kind of field that it creates to travel at such a high speed, 60 kilometers per second. It makes a particle dispersion effect where maybe they can measure particles within this area so they don't bump into things traveling at that speed. And now we have this. This is the new image. Nobody mentions that it changed color again. It's gone back to being that reddish color, with the blue is more in this direction. Also, look at the trails here. These are strange kind of jet trails that are all coming at an angle, probably to make its path ahead of it. It's some kind of technology where they can actually measure by doing what they're doing here. Small particles that are in the way as it travels at high speed. And of course, I think there's something behind here. This is the latest picture how 3i Atlas appears. It's gone from gold now to green, and the tail is swinging around and going in the direction of Earth. Think about that for a minute. I'm going to cover in this video the Phoenix Lights message, where they show the Pleiades star formation is tied to their origins and the exit marks the spot. This is the message that was missed. I'm going to show how I got to that. And of course, my star map theory of all my work, I'll link to this in the list of my videos to play in order of what happens first. In the description, you click the link to the my videos, my playlist. First, it's the Mars star map showing the Pleiades stars. Found it at Tikal, found it at Stonehenge, and it helped me find the place of Atlantis, of the Pleiades Islands, of the coast of Spain, to find the circular canals. And of course, there's a human code built in to all these ancient sites. That's all linked to as you follow from this video. And there's the site that I claim is the Lost Circular Canals. You can just see the old river tracings where it once made circles, and it's after the flood, the debris that washed over there obviously distorted everything. But while I was surveying the area on the eve of 2012, this gigantic 3-mile wide geoglyph appeared with a message. We're going to look at that as well in this video. And it showed, it looked like a swastika, decoded as Orion. The field was chosen as a grid layout plan where it left this message matching our first computer code, so we can decode what those two dots mean in that context, if that is the edge of the tape paper. And it decodes 2027. I'm going to show how I measure it using the original decoding sheet made by Siemens, where it shows a V-type object, explains it. They've made this all work out so you can interpret it in context with this V-shaped craft. And of course the swastika I prove origins. Why they showed that is the Orion star map showing the way to the ancestor star, which is also our star of our origins. I'm going to go through that in the extended video. Here's the message. That's the book that I've produced showing how to interpret this star map and the alien message. It's the rising and setting of Orion. As you see, just like this, two positions on the field. Okay, now the 25th of December story with 3i Atlas. I need to go through some very important basics. I show in my work how the star of Ra, which is shown the leg of the bull, Orion man, and from the star of the sunlight star, this is the circumpunct, the star of the ancestors, a beam of light comes down to earth where all the gods of the ancients are shown. I'm going to touch on that as well, and of course there's a Freemason version of it, the blazing star, the Grail, beam of light, a ladder from that star, Pleiades is there, and of course there's also the Key of Solomon cipher that shows exactly the same star, beam of light, Orion, position, how to find it, all in the follow-on video. Now we need to add in the Sphinx secret to the Egyptian story to get the full context of what we might see on December the 25th in the sky. The origin of the Christmas tree, what it really means. There's the San Martin picture where Orion is showing the way to the leg of the bull, the sun-like stars, beam of light coming down from it, and the narrator teaching about the origin of all the star visitors here on terra firma, that it reflects that. Orion's belt, leg of the bull, star of the ancestors, and this beam of light. That's the origin, in my opinion, of the Christmas tree. Now, the Stargate, the teaching of what really happens inside the pyramids. I'll cover that on the log-on video. You can, on the link video. The teaching of the initiate, how they learn how to call on the cosmic dragon in these chambers. There's multiple chambers for different reasons, and this earth energy of the cosmic dragon works through these chambers. I've shown a dolmen here because this is the reason they built all those dolmens around the world. This is basically a small version of what we have inside here. I mean, look at these multiple layers of granite slabs. Okay, this is a small version of using that earth energy to call upon the dragon, but these would have failed when the cosmic dragon energy ended after the great flood. And I'll show how let's go back the star shots from that king's chamber actually map out all the stars of Lower Egypt, sorry, all the stars that match the pyramids of Lower Egypt. 50 pyramids matching those stars. There I show it, all the stars and the pyramids. But now what I've added in here is the Sphinx and Giza, because the Sphinx is what is used to decode the meaning of the pyramids. Once you understand what the Sphinx, looking at itself in the sky, as many authors have said before me, is the key in unlocking what the pyramids mean. So let's just take that further, because here's the Christmas tree effect from the Sun Temple, Sun-like star, which we're going to look at. Let's look at the Sphinx story quickly, just to recap. What I found in my first book, The Hidden Records, this angle measured between the 3 pyramids of Giza and the Sphinx, very simple little angle, and the stars of Orion's belt, from that same angle through to Leo, across the Milky Way. What it's showing is it's looking at itself. That's all very well, but it's proving that the Sphinx is Leo when you look at it in context of the pyramids, because it's saying, you've discovered now that I represent the stars of Leo, interpret all the pyramids as important stars. And that's the message of the Sphinx. That's the first message of the Sphinx. So measuring that angle match to prove the Sphinx is Leo, the stars of Leo. This is the key in unlocking what the pyramids mean. That the pyramids map out very important stars. And then we've got the Sphinx with a flat back and the remains of a door, showing in my work how this was once a landing place for first visitors. From the Jed Ankhsharaf papyrus, which I link to after this video, dome, 3 legs, radiating light. It comes from the womb of Nut in the heavens, a place where the most important part of the birthing of the sun star of Ra. This explains the utterance, and you follow where the toes touch one horizon, the leg of the bull is here, Pleiades, that it comes from that direction. But I'm just adding in one more little piece here to follow in from my videos. The wormhole. This is the cosmic dragon part of it. It's a living light that it traverses down. The Sphinx is not just any lion, it is a lion dragon. So we need to update the interpretation as we make sense of what's going to happen on Christmas Day. And that's how I show what it once looked like and how the visitors landed on it. There was a door to guess what's underneath. Yep. The records of our sun. This is the positioning of our sun passing through Leo. So Leo is like the lion capturing our sun. This is a very simple way for the ancients to leave another message. The second message of the Sphinx is, here lie the records of our solar system beneath the Sphinx. Right? The Hall of Records, right there. That is the second message of the Sphinx. But it's not any lion, remember. We should really update what kind of lion it is. It's a cosmic dragon lion, also the legend of the Chinobus. This is a living cosmic energy. So the stars of Leo in this case are representing the cosmic lion, the way that the ancients traversed the heavens. And here you can see some of the depictions of what landed on the back of the Sphinx. Is the cosmic serpent analogy within this cross-section through the ship that flies, comes from the heavens. But it's Sphinx, cosmic serpent, Sphinx. It's all one energy, depiction of the living light. So these are the three most common ancient symbols for the living light. Cosmic serpent, cosmic dragon, cosmic lion. They're all the same thing. They're all this living light that can be used for portals.
What has been missed is what the winged disk of the gods really looked like.
Let's begin, firstly with a simplified version of the Egyptian Genesis papyrus. The down-pointing triangulation of 3 sun stars next to the Pleiades was seen as the womb of the star goddess Nut. Legend claims the earth was also personified, like Nut, but as a green god, called Geb. His male anatomy on the horizon shares the stars of Orion's belt, as he fertilizes Nut. This is where Nut births the sacred sun star, Sol 1 Primary. The Holy Grail legend, you will soon see, is based on this history where the chalice represents the celestial womb of 3 suns, and the blade, or stem, represents the male anatomy of Orion's belt, in celestial union.
It is from this special birthed sun that our ancestors set out in their celestial ship. Traveling down what looked like a beam of light, their craft landed on a raised platform, safe from lions in the area. Now let's piece together the components of the real papyrus record in tune with the narrative sequence. Nut is personified as the cosmos full of stars. Her fingers and toes touch the earth, from horizon to horizon. From her womb the utterance identifies a sun star, where 3 vertical stars in a row of Geb align and establish all life from this sun star. The leg of the bull, the place of the gods, touches her toes to narrate the story of the gods landing on the flat back of the Sphinx. It is the Sphinx of Giza, because it has the dream stellar crown above its head, and the waldak headdress of the Osiris statue that was in front of it.
The celestial ship, radiating multicolored light, landed on the Sphinx landing platform. The image next to it now explains the celestial ship, with a double wormhole, as it flies with its own terra firma line, sketched in above the ground. Behold, the real Jed Ankhshiraf papyrus, from the Cairo Museum. This interpretation of ancient records might sound far-fetched, if it was not backed up by other ancient records. The thing is, the landing on the Sphinx has multiple records. The Sphinx was so sacred in the human Genesis legend, the ancient Egyptians wanted to show both sides in one image but had great difficulty in doing so.
Here is how the ancients came to agree how the Sphinx should be on record. A double Sphinx was the solution. No wonder Egyptologists became skeptics. There are many king tomb records of Zep Tepi, as they show the ship landing and going inside the Sphinx. Some show a cross-section through the flying disc as well, and how the cosmic serpent conduit is what it traveled on and through. Some records celebrated the ship radiating light, with a bright feathered banner on a pole, to carry in processions. It was not an actual fan to call a king at all. It was placed impaled on models of the Sphinx, that also had a chamber of knowledge shown beneath it. Here is a close-up analysis of the ceremonial banner. It has Horus as its occupant, with his sun star as a crown. The Sphinx has a flat back, and what looks like a door filled in with concrete, that is on record as possibly the oldest concrete record on Earth. Let's recreate Egypt's first time when the Sphinx was built.
The entire area of over 40 feet of valuable limestone no doubt became the source of blocks needed to build the pyramids of Giza. In its earliest epoch, it was functional, as a raised celestial ship landing platform, out of reach of roaming lion. It had a door, to the legendary underground Hall of Records. But the green rainy period would end after the effect of the Earth cataclysm we are about to explore. The spreading deserts soon encroached the Nile. Soon, the visits by the advanced ancestors ended.
Khufu the reigning king wanted the damaged Sphinx to have his face. Then more drought cycles would follow, and the pyramids became nothing more than a source of blocks for temple building. One day, Tutmosis, while sleeping under the hollow Sphinx head, heard a voice. The voice was most likely the star visitors, worried the weight of the wet sand would cause the Hall of Records to collapse. The star visitors possibly removed sacred objects and left. The terrible cyclic droughts returned, the sand burying all the sacred sites beyond management. The Sphinx saw the end of a great empire. Thousands of years followed until we see it as it is today.
In 2005, authors, Wayne Herschel and Birgit Lederer, explored the Senmut tomb. Inside, hidden in plain sight, is the definitive sealing record of the gods founding Egypt. Horus Soker as Orion Man, shows the way to the leg of the bull star cluster, which then shows the way to the tiny sun star in the night sky. Goddess Circuit stretches a cord, representing the wormhole conduit to our solar system, and seen once again, with a scorpion. Wayne suddenly realized Scorpio might be the view of where our local sun is seen when viewed from the Pleiades. It is true. We need one more clue to decode all the secret symbols here. The UK's CERN Abbas giant in Dorset is Orion Man. But unlike the encoded secret rod, or his belt showing the way, it is his male anatomy.
Now the mural comes full circle. A line joins the phallus symbol, with Orion Man. The mystery is decoded. The dot and circle symbol origin is revealed. The sun symbol denotes any sun with a planet, either alien or not. Wayne Herschel has decoded many ancient symbols for suns, but never ever, not for one moment, did he realize he would include this star map connection with the origins of Christmas itself. The conical beam of light from the sun star that we are about to see repeat in multiple cases might be one of the lost teachings of the Christ, actually celebrating human origins, from a star that is also his star. The conical beam of light from our origin star, Wayne believes, is the Christmas tree tradition, celebrating our human origins, from a sun-star system. Long before the Christ celebrated December the 25th, the ancient Romans celebrated this unconquered sun on this day, called Sol Invictus. How was this knowledge lost or repressed?
What we should be asking now is, was the Christ, the very same Orion man great teacher, since he revived the real cross of the Church's teaching? Hungarian researcher Martin Molnar-Gaub proves Wayne's theory with Orion and the Pleiades are revived Christian teachings. The Latin banner has it written in many accounts and in stone. It shows the globus cruciga and 7 stars. The cross remains steady in the sky as the earth rotates. And the gold orb and cross secret meaning is now decoded. Historical monarchy leaders burned books with this ancient lost knowledge. Orion's 3 belt stars was also a Christian encoded story for the 3 kings, or magi, to personify the belt stars, to find the Star of Bethlehem. Old Bibles showing Orion or the Solar Trinity were burned. Some Bibles from 1892 showing Orion still exist today.
The Sphinx of Egypt. What is the mystery of the Sphinx? It's got this in really elongated long body for its size of its head. I think the head was once a lion. A lot of authors have said this before. I've put a model of an actual size lion and an actual size person in relation to the size of the Sphinx, just to give you an idea of the size of it. It has this flat back. Why is the back of it flat? It once had the Osiris statue, a man with green skin. He has the Alpha Omega flail and I can't think of the right name of it, but anyway, it has the Egyptian theme of the Alpha and the Omega, the dream steel. These are things that identify the Sphinx. There's one more piece of the puzzle that's missing, and that is what I believe landed on the back of it. If you come around this side, you'll see at the back of the head of the Sphinx is the remains of what looks like a door. A lot of people have missed that. Now, what would land on the back of that Sphinx? This is the interesting bit. That is what I believe landed on the back of the Sphinx. Celestial ship. There's a papyrus that shows this whole story, the light radiating, the dome, the base, and look at the strange 3 legs, one forward and these curved ones curving away from it when you look at it from the front view. Now if you look at the papyrus, there it is. This whole story is about Nut, the sacred Milky Way, personified as the sacred feminine, her womb, the sacred feminine, the V. There is the story of the beginning of humanity, literally from the star of Ra, the circumpunct, life being given. Follow the 3 dots, that might just be a symbol, or origin of that symbol being Orion's belt aligning with it, just like in the Grail story. But from Nut, where she touches down on the horizon, there's the flat land where the Sphinx is on. From the leg of the bull for the Pleiades, that is the symbol for the Pleiades constellation. So it's from this leg of the bull, which is this area. There is the story of the ship of Ra landing on the back of the Sphinx. How do I know it's the Sphinx? There's the Waldark of Osiris. We saw that in the statue just now. There is the dream steel. That is the title for the Sphinx, as wearing it as a crown. And of course we have the strange flat object with a dome of white area here, and then colored light being radiated from it with those weird shaped legs that you saw in the model, a tripod. And of course that is the entrance to the back of the Sphinx. That is, I believe, the genesis of Egypt. This was the first touchdown area before the pyramids were built. They built that landing pad, raised because of that, lions. The area would have been totally inundated with lions. It was a green time, and the safe way of landing is like on a raised flat platform where they can go in and go underground. So there's the Christmas tree effect. Okay, maybe it does that. We'll wait and see. 25th of December. So it came into our solar system along that path, okay, the message. There was some sort of a gamma ray burst on almost the same day that this all happened when they discovered this anomaly. There must be some sort of a tie there. Maybe it's wormhole opening has this incredible gamma ray burst. Well, that we're not sure about yet. But I think while it was passing Mars, a whole lot of drones and UFOs are probably on their way to arrive here to monitor our terrible crisis that's developing, and they are probably more concerned in trying to stop us from using nuclear weapons which will destroy everyone. There is no winner in nuclear warfare, and this is the biggest part of the crisis, and I think they will be using these drones to look at how they can try and disarm perhaps our suicide weapons, because that's what they are. It's a math suicide by the 1% for the 99%, because they've all got nice little bunkers to hide in. So I don't think there's any logic there, because they haven't done the math. What happens when they come out? That if there are star visitors, do you think that would allow them to walk the Earth again? Never. The Maven satellite, by the way, is missing. That was on the Mars event, and that's probably why they didn't have any photographs. That whole satellite, in my opinion, was probably collected up by them and being studied. And they came from the direction of Scorpio. Now there's a very important bit of reasoning here, because I'll show you 4 records of the ancients showing that they came from this, they traveled towards this direction to come to our sun system. Because there are a lot of sun-like stars in the direction, when you travel from the Pleiades and look in this direction, there are a lot of sun-like stars in this area, and we were just one of them. So in my opinion, those star visitors, because the 3i Atlas originates from this area, these are other colonization events that happened after our Earth that probably didn't have a disaster that neutralized its civilization back to hunters and gatherers. Remember, we had a grand beginning, then the flood, then we were hunters and gatherers again. It's because we had such a terrible impact event on the Earth that caused the floods, that caused freezing temperatures for years, a whole generation literally of intelligence and equipment, and even buildings lost. So the people literally crawled out of the mud with their clothes on their backs. But if they came from this area, these are probably the people that colonized our solar system, went on to colonize these other sun-like systems, and now they're coming back with a sense of responsibility, because they pretty much abandoned us when we had our great cataclysm. They couldn't come and do anything more. By the time they came, perhaps the hunters and gatherers looked at them as gods, and they realized it was already too late. But here is the Egyptian records of showing how they went to Scorpio from the stargates. I've got an explanation to show how they interpret 2 stargates shut, 1 active, which is this one, how they travel towards Scorpio, the God's direction of travel to come to us was in the area of Scorpio. And of course we have the ice circuit stretching the rope of this wormhole cosmic tree, and of course the scorpion on top of her head. Okay, just to go back one quick one, look at circuit here, scorpion, sun on her head. That is what it's celebrating, the direction they traveled to come to our solar system, and it's there as well. And of course in the Maya records, the scorpion, the 3 sun-like stars are here. I go through that in great detail in the extended version, cosmic serpent, dragon, lion, and our 3 suns are in the deity, and this is the pipe, the conduit pipe that it travels, shown as a blowpipe, hunting the phoenix. But it's all about Scorpio. Even Nostradamus speaks of Scorpio wormhole opening, and this V-shaped craft coming from 3 suns, the wheel of time, 3 suns, 1, 2, 3, shown here as well. Pretty much showing what I think is that in Scorpio on its journey to us, just like this Mayan vase shows the cosmic serpent, the V-craft, opening from 3 suns. This is the wormhole opening, in my opinion. And on the greatest evidence of all that I cover in my work is the Genesis stone, the Sumerian Kuduru, 3 sun-like stars, the cosmic serpent, lion, dragon coming down to earth, follows in the direction. That's a boot to travel, to find civilization, a bird symbol, but it's in the direction of the pincers of Scorpio to get to earth. Now, interesting enough, in Scorpio, there's one of the closest sun-like stars to our solar system. And here it is, HD 147513, 42 light years away. That's pretty much a next-door neighbor. In my opinion, 3i Atlas is probably coming from our next-door neighbors. So let's recap now on the path of 3i Atlas. There's Leo, there's Regulus. Our sun passes along this ecliptic. Okay, this is the path of the sun. Now, isn't it amazing that this star visitor 3i Atlas decided to choose to run along this line of the ecliptic? There's the path of our sun, and here is the path of 3i Atlas. Now, if you wanted to come from another solar system and visit more than one or two of our important planets, you would need to come along this line. They've done that. It's not a coincidence. That's 500 to 1 chance against odds. Now, these are the positions where it'll appear starting from the 19th of December as the best viewing time begins. That's when I realized this is because it's creating, in my opinion, it's going to be creating something that shows they know the secret of the Sphinx. They are the ancients that built the pyramids, returning, and I expect to see something on the day of December the 25th where it is in conjunction with Regulus. There's what it's showing in the sky, and I think it's going to do something very unique. Brighten, change color, something on the day of the early morning of December the 25th. That's the time to look. All amateur astronomers around the world, please, I'm calling on you, keep your cameras ready, aim for the Regulus, and watch around the time period of the 24th to the end of the day of the 25th. I expect you're going to see something amazing. If it is meant to be a planned reason why they came through exactly as they show, correlating with December the 25th. I think the beam of light will actually be going this way because this is the direction it's traveling, and it's using this strange particle pattern maybe to have a special radar system where they can detect matter in front of them because they're traveling so fast. And I think it'll brighten again, looking probably like that, a bit more accurate. But just for simplicity, let's just look at it like that. I'm comparing it to the origin of the Christmas tree, as I'm showing here. And that is why it is correlating at this time of its journey to leave us an important message of the identity. Looking now at the full path of 3i Atlas, it came into our solar system along this ecliptic line. So we're looking at it from above. Reason it went past Mars. Why do you think it went past Mars? Well, my work shows the most important ancient civilization once lived on Mars. They left a pyramid layout plan of the Pleiades, the Mars face, the DNM 5-sided pyramid. Let's look at that a bit closely. Okay, there's the 5-sided pyramid face on Mars. Correlation with these anomalies are unbelievable. I'm going to put it over there just to show you. Go forward and backwards a few times. The correlations are mind-blowing, and of course then there's the human code that was left here that aligns with the face. There's a whole story being told you that I explain in my first book and in my videos. So that is the reason they're coming back to probably put probes there and redocument their ancestor origins. That would be something for themselves to document. Of course it moved on. So we're moving on now. This is where the Christmas period correlation is with 3i Atlas, assuming, 3i Atlas will be at this position with Leo, and this is where I think it will be leaving a message on Christmas Day. Will it brighten and create a conical tailed Christmas tree to match the secret of the Sphinx? Make some sort of a Christmas tree effect, or just brighten to show, hey, this is an important time marker with our history, the secret of the Sphinx and the pyramids and their identity. This is what my Christmas decorations look like. Sun disk. The decorations, just like you find in ancient Pompeii, of the tinsel celebrating the cosmic conduits through the heavens to the sun disk, and to 3 sunlight stars, one here being the Christmas tree star, there it is there, and the Christmas tree, a conical tree chosen for its shape, down to, and for me, my nativity scene is the Genesis stone. And now, It's moving on to Jupiter. Nothing has been said yet. Why would it want to go in this direction to correlate with Jupiter and time its whole path very carefully to be passing Jupiter? Well, if anybody watched the movie Apollo 13, what happened when the astronauts were going to the moon, they needed to turn back. They needed, before they even got to the moon, to turn back to Earth. But of course the scientists told them the only way to get back now is you have to do a slingshot maneuver around the moon. This, I believe, is what is going to be the main reason for Jupiter. It's got a very large gravity. I believe it's going to slow down even more to get to the right speed to create the slingshot maneuver to come back. And all this is going to take at least a year because there's a very long path. As it slows down now for the slingshot, it will probably correlate with 2027 anyway because of the time to do all this. And Earth will be on the other side of the sun again. I think it's important that these visitors stay, like they stay behind the sun for a large period of its time during this maneuver, the first closest point to our Earth. And now I think it's just going to be hiding behind the moon. And when it gets to the moon in 2027, it's probably going to be on the other side of the moon already, where we have the great solar eclipse of 2027 that's happening above ground zero over this area, southern Spain. It begins. They've timed it in with us because I think this also opens a cosmic wormhole. And why would they want to do that if they're already here? Think about that for a second, because that is the question. I think it's to perform another Nuremberg event, like the Nuremberg sighting of 1561. I'm going to go through that in this video. I'm going to add to it as well. You'll see that this wormhole effect that opens from the sun is something to do with creating a pathway for a lot of these very large flying craft. The 1561 Nuremberg celestial event, this is a UFO event that happened in Nuremberg in that time period. I think this is the 3-eye atlas type UFO, and this is what ended the adventure. So I'm going to reenact that event quickly. This is what it would have looked like on the day. Here's Nuremberg, and this is the industrial area where they were processing copper and silver. At that time in history, the biggest deposits of pure copper and pure silver ready for collection is here in Nuremberg. Coincidence? The cosmic visitors seem to come for a very important deal, or to rob humanity of it, who knows. But this is what happened by the sun. It looks like an ellipse again, it looks like a wormhole opening from the sun. This is the sun. This sort of explains, it's explained in the text. I'm going to show you the text as well. And all these little objects came out and interacted with each other while they were doing something on the hill. Then these big pillars, flying pillars. Remember another description, a pillar that flies. And these little objects can go in and out of them. They even show little doors on them, if you look back at the picture. And then there was some kind of interaction between another group of pillars that arrived, and they were fighting against each other. And what was going on here suddenly had a problem. There was a fire that broke out here, and then this big one came out of the cosmic wormhole. This, I think, is like 3-eye atlas. It's two triangular objects, you'll see in the description. And then this happened. It ended, and it departed. And that's my interpretation of it. I think they came for the copper and silver of Nuremberg. You can Google that. They made these strange cross formations of streamers in the air, and there were two different types of pillars where these objects came out of, and one had more trouble than the other. But it seems that this chased them away. Think of what happened then. That really happened. And here's the description. Press pause and you can read through it yourself and compare it to what I've interpreted. In the morning of April the 14th, 1561, at daybreak, between 4 and 5 a.m., a dreadful apparition occurred on the sun. And then this was seen in Nuremberg, in the city, before the gates, and in the country by many men and women. At first there appeared in the middle of the sun two blood-red semicircular arcs, just like the moon in its last quarter. Something like that. And in the sun, above and below and on both sides, the color was blood. It stood a round ball of partly dull, partly black ferrous color. Likewise, there stood on both sides, and as a torus about the sun. Here is the clue here as to what pattern forming looks like. It formed the shape of a toroidal torus. Such blood red ones and other balls in large number, about 3 in a line and 4 in a square, also came alone. Also some alone. Something like that. There's your torus effect. It's like the tree of life. Cosmic energy of the dragon forms in the universe in these toroidal patterns. It's a torus forming, and the objects came out of this opening portal. In between these globes there were visible a few blood red crosses, between which there were blood red strips becoming thicker to the rear and in the front malleable like the rods of reed grass, which were intermingled. Among them 2 big rods, one on the right, other to the left, and within the small and big rods there were 3, also 4 and more globes. It's absolute chaos of objects flying around. These all started to fight amongst themselves, so that the globes, which were first in the sun, flew out to the ones standing on both sides. Okay, some of the movement patterns. Thereafter, the globes standing outside the sun in the small and large rods flew into the sun. So here we have a message of the portal. They're using a portal that seems to go in the direction of the sun. Besides, the globes flew back and forth amongst themselves and fought vehemently with each other for over an hour. And when the conflict in and out of the sun was most intense, they became petite to such an extent that they were all, as said above, fell from the sun down upon the earth as they all burned. There were crash events here of giant UFOs. Think about that for a second. Where did they go? What has history shown? And then wasted away on the earth with immense smoke. Ha. Just to update, this has all happened, this has all occurred in ancient times, where the largest silver and gold reserves were stored. And I think they came for other metals like gold. That was the largest reserves on the earth at the time in history. But I want to note here, one of these massive pillars, UFOs, over 1 mile long crashed, it would be of material that could not be cut or removed, but they'd also be very afraid of radiation, and who knows what else they're finding there. They could bury it, the powers that be wanted hidden. That's probably what happened initially, until one day it would be rediscovered. The story could not hide, with researchers over the years looking for the debris. It just leaves one way to study it. If they found it, you'd have to build a massive building over it. Now, there's something that's happened in latest developments. People that are supposedly part of the disclosure movement, that I think is all a big fake setup just to literally groom us into believing everything they say. He slipped out a bit of information. Click the link in my description where I show you a UFO that has a building built over it. Click that link, you'll see exactly what they are saying. I think it's here in Nuremberg. After all this, let me try that again. After all this, there was something like a black spear, very long and thick, as it was sighted. Shaft pointed to the east, the point pointed west. So this is what came out of the sun. This is my reenactment of the Nuremberg description, and I think there were probably 2 big triangular supersized objects. The question is, if the ancients are returning in 2027, matching the alien message from the Atlantis Circular Canal site, and their arrival is the ultimate event fitting the prophecies of the Book of Revelation, at a time when the world is in crisis and possibly at war, is there a chance another Nuremberg event will occur, and they come in large numbers to try to stop our military that are planning to destroy us and the planet? That's the question. As we face 2027, what's going to happen? Think about this for a while and look at my linking videos. And this is what I saw in my near-death experience, that it happens again, and it happens over New York. And everything goes wrong from here because our powers that be know it's going to happen and they're preparing for it. So let's say it appears, okay? It would shine its beam down on the Liberty statue. I'll show you why. While it's teaching about the star map of New York, that it celebrates their ancestors' arrivals who colonized the earth. That's why they've come. Earth's in trouble and they have a responsibility to fix it. But something will happen. Our powers that be just have to detonate something in New York, and then all of humanity will think, well, there it is. They're right. It's an alien invasion. They want to kill all of humanity. So I hope that doesn't happen. So if there are any cosmic visitors watching my work, please do not arrive above New York. It'll all go pear-shaped. So it's that leg of the bull story. Okay, I've showed it to you. The Phoenix Lights, same as Egypt. This is the place where Egypt started. Memphis, the biggest city, was built here next to these pyramids by the Sun Temple at Abusir. And of course it helped me find the lost islands on the ocean floor. And that is where the circular canals are. And while I was surveying the aerial images with Google Earth, that appeared. And then, compared to Stonehenge, there's the leg of the bull. Planets, sun, same sort of star map. And here is the star map of New York. Can you see the leg of the bull? Look at it from the side. That's the Liberty statue with the star, blazing star that it shows the way to. And this is the star map right here of the leg of the bull. In my opinion, it's just my opinion. And I go through the Mithras teachings of it because it's also on some of the records in New York as well, how this cosmic deity looks like Superman, wears red and blue, severs the leg of the bull of Taurus, and there's a cosmic serpent going down to Earth, and the founding of civilization. So it would shine its light, I think, over Liberty statue while it tells its story. So I just hope that doesn't happen. Just remember this one thing before you leave this video. For the 1%, this is an invasion of the planet Earth. For the 99%, this is a messianic event to save us. Right. The first mega-sized deep space object message I'm going to carry here. The Phoenix Lights of 1997. Big shard object that came into the area of Phoenix. And this is it here. This is the icon. The UFO event left a message. The identity. It was missed. Most people just show that in their reproduced videos. But there's a lot more happening here. And the truth emerges when you look at it completely. The first sighting was at 8 p.m. on that day, where it flew over a residential area where they could see underneath it. They could see it was partly invisible and was all one big object, more than a mile long. The second sighting was the 10 p.m. sighting where the TV channel showed something happening over the Phoenix Lights. Now I'm crediting the man who filmed this. Mike Chryson has the complete, unaltered footage right from the most important part, which is how we identify a message. And this is the first light that appeared. When that happened, he ran back to his wife and said, "Hey, we've hit gold. It's happening again." And this is where it started. So here is an important part of what's missing in the whole interpretation of the Phoenix Lights. I've processed these frames individually. Look like 3 forming here. Look closely up. Then it became 2. Another one formed. 3. Another one formed. 4. 5, 6, 7, and then it just sat there. Now these are not flares because they're not falling down. They're all staying in the exact same position for a while before it all reversed again. But while it was in that position, can you see the message? There's a collective of 7, make a bit of a curve. I think it's a bit of an ellipse here, so I've drawn an ellipse to show you how this literally is showing its way to the one that started. This is the ancient star map. And why I think it's so important more recently is because at ancient Atlantis site, it's repeated. Shows you the big shard type objects with people disembarking. There is the star map of the 7 in a row, in a curve, for the Pleiades. I showed you my New Atlantis book. It's conclusive. These are people of the ancient times coming back to try and teach us they're coming and where they come from. There's the star map, the Pleiades cone, so a bit of a curve is there as well to the exit marks the spot, which is a sun-like star where our ancestors came from, and it makes the leg of the bull constellation, which you've got to understand completely now to make that. And I've shown the two together here. There's a whole lot happening here. Just press pause and look at it in your own time, but I think it was one of these that landed at Atlantis. The people disembark, and this is what it's showing here, these giant objects at the ancient site of Atlantis in a cave that's supposed to be older than the Bronze Age. It's all covered in my book. And now we have an exact match with the cave with the Pleiades. I have to show the two together. It's a star map. The second mega-size deep space object message. Now this is the one with the site of Atlantis that I've discovered and written about and published from 2019. A 3-mile wide geoglyph, just on the eve of 2012. Made a nice graphic for it. This is what appeared at the site. I was looking for ruins, and that is what appeared. I refreshed my page with Google Earth, and this suddenly appeared the next day, literally overnight. And then strange things happen. I've got a whole video on just what happened with Google Earth and the people trying to leave a little bit behind when they removed it to show, yes, something really did happen. And the message, this part here, I realized it was a computer code, makes the date 2027. All you have to do is look for what happens in this year with an eclipse. Strangely, at this site an eclipse begins. This is where it starts, ground zero. And this is when the visitors are going to return. This is the star map of Orion. This is the swastika. It's all part of my teaching of the star map. And here's how I extract the 2027. You see there's a V shape there as well. And this, I'll explain all this in the extended part of the documentary, but it's for the 2027 time period. There's the fields that it was laid on. It makes that same grid pattern that you see here. There's a 5-track code and a 7-track. The 7-track was removed. That's the one that's better, but it also works with the 5-track in this current proving the source and what it is. There's what I say is the swastika origins. It's the nebula around Orion showing the way to that, the ancestor star with an exoplanet. That's what the swastika stands for in all my work, and it's there. And there's the Templar Cross version of it. Rising and setting of Orion, exactly as you see here. There's the exit marks, the spot twice. It's going to be a gathering on the 2nd of August near the ancient site of the geoglyph. The flame keepers, who are people of my patron, highest, let's call it the people of highest regard of my flame keepers, will be invited to see the solar eclipse. And I think there's a lot more that's going to happen there.
With the earlier Sumerian clay tablets' precise version of the cosmic human origin star map, and how it matched the template at Stonehenge, would come the mindset that had Herschel set out to search the Atlantic Ocean seabed. It would be this clue that would culminate in this documentary's biggest revelation.
As the world was counting down to 2012, I was watching Google Earth, looking for ruins, refreshed my page, and I saw that. I recognized that curvature from somewhere. This could be a computer code. I think it's first contact. The ancients are returning. I've published a book, Herschel's Atlantis, and there's a 2-hour documentary you'll see at the end of the video. These are my 3 books. I'm trying to promote Saving Forests, $19 for all 3, 1 delivery. I am now making something very special available to all my patrons. All my patrons who join the quest will be in contact with me directly from that day forward to 2027. Not just that, all my patrons who pass the 2,000K mark, or activists, or going to be the people bringing this quest forward after 2027, they will also be given the keys to the vault. There's extra secret knowledge, and they will have copies of it for all my work to be brought forward. Even if computer systems go down, they will be repaired one day. They will reactivate that work and prove all the work that I've done over 20 years. They'll also be invited to be present at a last-minute secret meeting point at first contact. My patrons, who are all at the top of the group that I've defined here, will be with me on that day at a special location to view this solar eclipse.